How's it going, everybody? It's Warren and welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk about all things Marvel and everything relating to the MCU. And today we have some very exciting news concerning the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Wolverine. It seems like we're getting closer and closer to the X-Men showing up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and what everybody wants to know is how is Wolverine, the mutant who through various movies and comics has become one of the most popular X-Men ever, going to be reintroduced on screen after Hugh Jackman did such an amazing job? Well, it looks like his introduction and setup is going to start in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and today we have a little bit more evidence pointing towards this fact, as a casting call has revealed a connection to Wolverine, one that we've actually seen before on screen, but a connection nonetheless. So we'll break down this new casting call in this video and tell you everything that you need to know. But first, big congratulations to Jonathan Mendoza for being the winner of last week's Dr. Doom Funko Pop giveaway. Email me in the email in my description and we'll get you your Funko Pop. And for this week's Funko Pop giveaway, we're giving away a Hawkeye Funko Pop. So all you have to do to enter is subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment about the video down below. So it seems like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is going to be one of the first projects from Marvel's Phase 4 to hit streaming, is going to cover a little bit of the repercussions of Avengers Endgame. In Avengers Endgame, we had a 5-year gap between the snap and between when the Hulk brought everybody back. But during that time, a lot of stuff happened, and remember, Tony told Bruce not to undo anything that happened over the last 5 years. Now, of course, he said this because he didn't want his daughter to be snapped out of existence since she happened in the last 5 years, but everything else that happened stayed the same as well. And one very particular thing that stayed the same is that Hawkeye killed a ton of the Yakuza. The Yakuza are a Japanese crime organization, the same ones that we saw Hawkeye take down at the beginning of Avengers Endgame. And what's interesting is that the Yakuza actually have a connection to Wolverine. And we'll get to that in just one second because recently we have found out some new casting information about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's been reported that Leon Go and Kaoi Joa have been cast as Yakuza members in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Leon is labeled under Yakuza Bike Rider and Kaoi is labeled under Yakuza Gang. Now this connects to Wolverine in a couple of different ways. One way is going back to the leaked set photos of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that we got of the biker gang with the red demon-like face on the back of the biker gang's jackets. It's widely believed that this figure on the back of the jackets is Ogun, and Ogun is very heavily connected to Wolverine. In fact, Ogun is secretly the person who created Wolverine and made him into what he is, who Wolverine would eventually kill. And it looks like the Yakuza may in fact be this biker gang, and that would link the Yakuza to Ogun. Now, the Yakuza are actually connected to Wolverine in another way, and if this sounds kind of familiar, it's because this is what we saw in Fox's The Wolverine. Wolverine took on the Yakuza in The Wolverine, and it was a pretty heavy part of the story. In fact, a good majority of the story featured the Yakuza. Now, Marvel Studios isn't going to retcon anything that Fox did into the MCU. So whatever happened in The Wolverine did not happen and won't have any effect on any story of Wolverines in the MCU. But it does sound like they found a certain way to start to introduce Wolverine into the MCU. Because this is a way to show that Wolverine, or Logan, has been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for quite some time. Because remember, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to cover the repercussions of everything that's happened from Endgame. And that includes the damage that Hawkeye did, or Ronin did, to the Yakuza during that 5-year time period. And it seems like they may link Wolverine to the Yakuza somehow. Perhaps he was another person like Hawkeye trying to take them down during this 5-year gap. It would definitely be a good way to tie Wolverine into the MCU. And maybe even they can say that he was connected to Hawkeye during this time. Maybe Hawkeye and Wolverine fought together at some point. This would actually be a pretty cool way to introduce Wolverine because a lot of people were wondering if Marvel is going to say that the X-Men have existed in the MCU the entire time. We just haven't heard anything of them yet. Or is Marvel going to have some event that activates the mutant X gene inside of the mutants and now mutants are new to the MCU? But having Wolverine have fought alongside Hawkeye or Ronin during this 5-year gap would be an awesome way to start to kind of bring the mutants into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After all, we do know that a young Logan is not exactly a team player, so if anybody would ask, since Wolverine was in the MCU, why didn't he go help Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame? They could simply say, Clint asked him, but Wolverine said no. There's a lot of awesome ways to connect Wolverine here with the Yakuza and with Ogun, and I'm really excited to see the story of how Marvel is going to play this with the the introduction of Wolverine. But in the meantime, let me know how you would like Wolverine to be introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Stay up to date on all things relating to the MCU. For live updates, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.